It's all right. It's good to be back one more time again, and I'm happy to be back. Happy New Year. The last time I made a video was in 2023, and I'm very, very glad to be here again. I hope you are glad also to see me. Yeah, Happy New Year one more time, and what a time to be back. We had the Champions League draw earlier today, where Bayern Munich was pitched against Arsenal, Real Madrid was pitched against Manchester City, Atletico Madrid against Borussia Dortmund, and we have PSG versus Barcelona. On a quick one, who do you think will qualify? Which team do you think will advance from this quarter-final stage to the Champions League semi-final and subsequently maybe win the trophy? For me, I'm rooting for Atletico Madrid to at least get to the final. And I'm actually sure they will be like, they'll fancy their chances. They might think, oh, finally, it is our time. Finally, it is our turn, because they've gotten to the Champions League final at least twice now during the Simeone era, and twice they were defeated by Real Madrid. And now, looking at the manner in which they qualify against Inter Milan, you will not, on paper, you won't say Borussia Dortmund stand a chance against them. Whether we like to admit it or not, I'm thinking they will get to semi-final, and subsequently, if they meet Barcelona in semi-final, but we'll get to that later. Now, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. Now, this is not a straightforward draw, but on paper and based on this season's performance, we could actually say Arsenal to go through. However, this is a cup competition, and looking at Tuchel, well, he has lost a little bit of steam since he last won the trophy in 2021 with Chelsea. So we cannot even categorically say Bayern Munich will blow Arsenal apart, or say something like, because Arsenal are blowing team apart 4-0, 5-0, 3-0 in the Premier League, they will also blow Bayern Munich apart. When you look at the match against Porto, both legs, we find out that for the fact that he has to get to penalty shootout, that shows that it was not easy, and that is how it is in the Champions League. So Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, what I'm looking at is, if Arsenal can be ready in the mind, like if they can put behind them the history, the stories of how Bayern Munich has battered them in Europe over time, if they can put that behind them, they can put the story behind them and come outside as a young team, a strong team that they are, and they really want to show themselves, I believe they have a chance. You could actually, but actually I'm rooting for Arsenal. From the beginning of the season, I said I am for Arsenal, and Arsenal fans promised me their jersey. So please be a virtual witness, because if Arsenal eventually win the trophy, they will owe me jersey, Farmex, Victoria, all of them, they are owing me jersey. Even Timmy, they owe me jerseys. Not let me say jersey. I mean, a fan base cannot just give me mainly one away, one home kit, and another third kit. If there is fourth kit, the one they wear on Earth Day, that white one, I could manage that. But back to football now. Right. So I was saying that if Arsenal could put behind them the stories of how Bayern Munich has battered them, has beaten them in Europe, and they could be ready, mentally ready, because that's the first thing. They have to be mentally ready. If they keep looking at themselves as, and this season they have actually improved. However, this is Bayern Munich. Now let's roll over to Bayern Munich. They are having a poor season by their own standards. Come what may, they might not win the Bundesliga, which is their bet right. They have won it. They might not win it. That might probably go to Bayern Leverkusen this season. So Bayern Munich are not good on paper. Tuchel will be going at the end of the season, so they might actually want to make this like a parting shot for Tuchel. But Arsenal remains a strong team, especially this season. And Bayern Munich too, they are not a small team. So Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, who am I rooting for? All right, this is a difficult one to predict. I better stay away, but since I believe Arsenal will be winning the Champions League, so I'm rooting for Arsenal. Manchester City versus Real Madrid, this is a revenge, right? This is a revenge of last season, right? This is, a revenge of some sorts. So Real Madrid will fancy their chances. I'm telling you, they will fancy their chance. Manchester City are not blowing teams away. They played Chelsea twice, they couldn't win. And they've played Liverpool. They were lucky against Liverpool last weekend. We all know they were lucky. They should have given a penalty against Doku that wanted to use his boot to rip someone heart out. So Manchester City are not blowing team out, and sadly, Real Madrid too, it's not as though they are blowing team out, but they just know how to cut their onions when it comes to Europe. So I'm rooting for Real Madrid. Real Madrid there, and it's going to be tough for Arsenal. I mean, Real Madrid versus Arsenal, like the size. If Arsenal is going to win this trophy, I'm saying that they have to overcome some mental, like there has to be some mental shift, because pitching them against Bayern, when you look at the size, and if they eventually get through, they meet Real Madrid, the size can be overwhelming. But that is just by the way. Now, PSG versus Barcelona. Right, whoever want to predict this has to, like, I don't know, but let me just try. PSG versus Barcelona. Right, PSG too. They are not like they are not in form. They are not in form. Really, they are not in form. When you look at their last few matches in League One, it's not as though they are not tearing teams apart. Even as by their own standard in their league, they are not tearing teams apart. So and Barcelona, they have not been playing well. They have a lot of injuries to deal with. So this is I don't know what we say here, but Mbappe can be the deciding factor. So I'm going for PSG to go through. And Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund, I already say that Dortmund, I already say Atletico Madrid, they go through. So let me hear what you think. Let me hear which team you are rooting for in the comment section. But just before we close, let's look at some key stats. Harry Kane has scored more Premier League goals against Arsenal than any other player in the competition's history. He has scored 14 goals against Arsenal. Now, he faces them in the Champions League for the very first time. Wow. So, and a key reminder is that Bayern Munich fans will not be attending, will not be watching the game, will not be attending the game at Emirates, because they were banned due to the fireworks they set on the pitch during their 3-1 win against Lazio last month. All right, so Arsenal heaviest defeat in European competition in all the UEFA Champions League history. They have 4-0 loss against Inter Milan in 2011-2012, 1-5 for 5-1 loss against Bayern in 2015-2016, another 5-1 loss against Bayern in 2015-16, another 5-1 loss against Bayern in 15-16. So, like consecutively like that, 16-17, 16-17. The last two 5-1 loss were 16-17. So, I mean, as I've said earlier, that there will be like some kind of mental shift. And that's just by the way. So, Real Madrid have only won one of their last 6 Champions League matches against Man City. They've drawn 1 and they've lost 4. And they've conceded an average of 1.7 goals. It's going to be a big one. Bayern Munich will face Arsenal for the 5th time in the Champions League knockout stages, progressing on each of the 4 occasions more than against any other side. So I think these are just some key stats. Some players might risk suspension in the quarterfinal second leg. Madrid has 3 players and like that. So we shall see how it goes. But I want to hear